Hey folks, welcome to another episode of the Security Table. This is Chris Romeo, joined as always by my partners in crime, Izar Tarandosh, Matthew Coles. We've got a live, interesting one for today, I think, because
It's interesting, that's for sure.
we
might be dead.
are broaching the topic of AI as automated attacker. And so we've got this research that Sysdig has done, and it was entitled Jade Puffer, Agentic Ransomware for Automated Database Extortion. And so I want to explore this concept that they've thrown out here first. They're calling this the first agentic ransomware. So
Observed.
What is observed? Yeah, that's true, because you can't see everything. But what is this? When they say agentic ransomware, what do they mean?
They mean that the ransomware. So ransomware, let's see for our audience, ransomware is where you deliver malware that usually steals, encrypts, and then extorts, right? That's the general pattern. And generally that's done by your standard worm or Trojan horse or drive-by attack or whatever some sort of
insider attacker.
trick individual to go to site, click link, get pwned, right? And what they're suggesting is that instead of just a script doing that, just a dumb deterministic fixed path script, that this was executed by an agent. Well, by AI. I'm not sure that how you would know it was an agent versus just a something else running, but
it definitely sounds cooler if you say
it sounds cooler. Yeah,
it does.
And as soon as you say AI agent or LLM, poof, it goes to the top of the news cycle. But
yeah, agents nowadays is remember SecDevOps, DevSecOps. It is whatever you want it to be, right?
Like, oh, interesting. Yeah,
when it was there, you don't know what to call it. Call it an agent.
Call an agent. Yeah. Well, if it's not an agent, then it's just plain old generative AI, and that's really boring, right?
For it to be an agent, it has to come from the land of a loop that actually interprets the output that it gets from its inputs and changes non-determinate. I would never say that word.
Is OpenClaw an agent?
Oh yeah.
The 100%. Word agent is written all over its README, so I'm guessing it is. I mean, it self-identifies as one. So
self-identifies as one.
Who am I, right?
Are we an agent? Does that mean we're all agents? We run.
Depends on whether you think you're in a simulation or not, Matt.
We run in a loop. We synthesize input and then we randomize output.
It does sound like a
we non-deterministically determine output.
So definitely, if people listen to this show, they realize we're non-deterministic.
I think that the main difference here is that if it was just a script, it would be trying things one after another, and it would be branching between different things to try based on the output that it would receive, right?
Sure.
The output that it would see from its inputs. But the agency thing here comes from this adaptability that it seems to have shown.
Well, so I mean, did it really? I mean, if there was only one instance, if this is the first in one instance, how do you know it just didn't branch?
Let's just put everything into that word again, context, right? And this attack that they have observed, and first of all my respect to Sysdig, they've been doing great work for hundreds of years, and we've been using the
hundreds of years.
We've been using hundreds of CPU years
in computer terms. Yes, it was
in computer terms. Yeah. Or
at least at least since January 1st, 1970.
Yeah, or if you're trying to hire someone, then they have like hundreds of years of attacking pen testing experience. So they know what they're talking about, right? So I'm not questioning what they're saying. I'm sure that every single line in this article was truly thought of and all that. So definitely no shade, quite the contrary. So what they did was they observed that somehow left somebody, you know, somebody left
I
a
need
lang flow,
somebody to hack.
left a lang flow instance opened and exposed to the internet. What could possibly go wrong, right? And there was something that found it, and there was some exploiting of a CVE, which CVE 2025-3248. So not that old, but when I look here at my calendar, I see 2026. This is a 2025, and it's a missing authentication flaw in its code validation endpoint that allows an unauthenticated attacker to execute arbitrary Python on the host.
Ooh.
So yeah, I'm sure that this got classified as like, I don't know, CVSS 3, and in their context was probably nothing important. It was
9.8
just
critical.
this thing that lets you run
But who's
Python on the
counting?
host.
But who's
What?
counting exactly?
It was a 9.8.
9.8 critical.
Yeah, so that's 9.8, 3. Who's counting?
But I
Yeah.
mean, when everything's critical, what do you patch?
Everything.
Look, the only thing critical here is me. Okay.
Well, or you do your threat model and you go, what could go wrong there?
Let me put it like this. This is Langflow, right? This is like LLM harness software. If you're not running the last version, what the hell are you doing?
Fire and forget. I deployed and therefore I'm done.
Right? So anyway,
welcome to the age of vibe coding.
Yeah. So yeah,
and vibe deploying.
So I'm totally putting the guilt on this one, on the last person who touched that Langflow thing. Carl, damn it, Carl. So the thing is, so they had the usual loop, they had the reconnaissance, they had the let me find all the API keys that are lying around here. Remember, by now we are just like running Python code on the host. And then things started as they do, started going wrong, right? I don't have this library. I don't do that output. I don't code like that. And apparently the reasons, the footprints that were followed in here, and Sysdig got all the scripts because, I don't know, they stayed on /tmp or something. You can't even trust agents to clean after themselves, apparently.
Yeah, come on.
Proof that a teenager wrote this.
What is the guidance? Police your brass.
Yes.
Always clean up behind yourself on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
Or just clean your room, Carl. Damn it. Anyway. So it goes and you follow line by line this amazing tale of Python exploitation, where basically it connects to a Postgres database and starts doing all kinds of fun stuff. And it follows. There is an error in the middle. It corrects the error. It tries one thing. It doesn't work. It tries the other. And then it gets to the ransomware bit where it encrypts the whole database and
doesn't save the key.
Yes, it doesn't save the
closer.
key.
So it can't be. If you pay the ransom, you're never going to get your data back.
Right. So basically, what that tells me is that the prompt did not end with "make no mistakes." Right. So the attacker here forgot very
forget that.
Always forget that. Yes.
You never forget make no mistakes at the end of your prompt. As we all know, that's the secret for a good prompt.
Man, you're like the secret that turns it from non-deterministic to
you're like Cesar's an elite prompt engineer. You should put that on LinkedIn.
I can prompt of the best. Like I'm like prompt of the best, die like the rest. It's we are prompting here. Nobody listens to me. But I can prompt.
Did you just change the quote from Hackers? You did.
Coming from the point of view that Hackers did not originate the quote, okay?
Ooh, it was an ESA original. from
Nope.
high school.
Nope. I'm not that old. No, actually, I am that old. But no, it's not an Isar original. I will Google immediately and let you know where it comes from, because it does not come from hackers.
You heard it here first, folks. We Google faster than any other podcast.
We don't have an LLM agent, Agentic AI, doing the research for us live on
We
air.
should have. Of course, it would have peeled off and started working on a ransomware project.
Sorry, who are you people? New agent. Who this?
Make no mistakes.
Quick
I
prompt.
tried, Mom. I tried.
You have no idea who the quote came from.
No. I do know. I just don't want to say in case I'm wrong. But yeah, you know what? I'll find it.
When did we start not saying something because we might be wrong on this podcast? Come on.
It's too early. It's too early.
It's too early? What do you mean it's too early?
It's 7:30.
It's almost 8 o'clock on the East Coast. The sun is rising. All right, we're out of time for
I'm quite
Googling.
sure that this is a Marine quote. But anyway.
We'll look it up and tell you on a future episode.
We'll find it. We'll put it in the notes.
We'll find it. Anyway.
Okay,
so where were we?
Well, you could kind of ran us through the exploit. I guess I got a question here. Does this change our threat model? I don't know if you guys, like when I work on a threat model, I like to think of who the bad people are, just to kind of focus me in. And so does this change how we describe the attackers that are going to be looking at our system? Should we consider agentic attackers differently than regular human attackers?
So 2 things there. I think that for a long time in our assessment of attackers, we have sort of surreptitiously ascribed to them the capacity of not doing very complex things at most. Mm-hmm. And we love to say, oh, I'm not defending against nation states and all that. And if the FSB wants to get my stuff, they will anyway. But the FSB doesn't want to get your stuff. But the thing is that what this does, when correct, note that I did not say if correct. I said when correct. When it's actually an LLM attacking it, is lower the threshold of what actually is too complicated to exploit. So that last barrier that we hid behind, saying, oh no, this is too complicated, our usual attacker is not going to use that, now crumbles. And we say that, you know what, if they have enough tokens, yeah, sure, why not?
Well, and actually there's another change, I think, in the threat model here, right? That the human almost certainly wasn't involved with an autonomous payload, right? You didn't have a active live human on a target making doing command and control live most often, right? You would wait until you'd have a valid connection, a valid infection before the human would probably step in to do work. Now the adaptiveness and the command and control can go with the payload, right? The LLM can control the from infection onward, as opposed to having the human have to be involved.
True.
Right. So that changes the threat model a bit, because again, as you said, targets that were hard, that would have required human intervention in order to successfully exploit, can now be adaptively exploited by the payload itself.
And this doesn't even require Mythos, like a Mythos class model, right? Like this, they didn't
could be a
say
small model delivered, or maybe living off the land. If I don't know if actually is living off the land attack valid here? You wouldn't have an API key probably unless you stole it first. In which case, it's not really ransomware. I mean, it is, but you've already compromised something to get there.
You would definitely need a 2-stage thing, right? Because you would need to inject yourself in there, get the foothold, have some LLM on the outside that's basically reading the environment and figuring out what your options are. And if one of the options is, hey, this is really serious hardware, and it's what's the name of the thing? Magai? No. Then you could inject something in there, right? Or you could make it call some other LLM somewhere. But the fact is, do you need that added complexity? The thing that what was it that I was thinking before before that question? It was something actually interesting. You were talking about command and control.
Right.
Yeah. And
Could you
I
deliver a
was
small
thinking,
model with the exploit?
yeah, no, I was thinking about something different. What was it? Damn, it completely disappeared. Probably not important. I'll get back to it later. So yeah, but the thing that that's a bit interesting to me here is what they decided were the lines of thought that in their in their analysis point out to this being LLM driven, right? So they indicate four lines. One of them is that the code is self-narrating. Oh,
It
now I
took me a
remember what it.
second to dig into that a little bit here, but I think I understand what they mean now by self-narrated, and that is that the agent left comments explaining its own reasoning in the payloads, and so Sysdig
Yes.
must have been able to find copies of those running. But the question is, was that just a simple version of this, like a 1.0 release, and by the time you get to 2.0, they'll get smart enough to obfuscate any of those scripts, have the LLM obfuscate it so that you don't have any comments, you don't have any context as to what's happening.
The question is why would the obfuscation need to happen, right? I think in my limited experience in this side of things, that you obfuscate things when you want to have persistence. You want people not to be able to understand what is it that you're doing in there,
Well, you
just
want
so
to
that you
limit
can keep
detection.
doing it for a bit more.
Yeah, if you want to
Limit
limit
detection for as long as possible. If it's a worm-based LLM,
I have the feeling that if somebody is encrypting your database, you're going to find out about things way before you find some script that's been
Right.
commented.
You also want to avoid attribution, right?
That's more like it.
So, but also, why would you want to give away your IP, right? For the ransomware attacker, right, how it approaches a problem is their IP. As much as we don't like to think of it that way,
no, that's
that's
true.
their code, right? That's their code. And in this case, they're prompting an LLM with not telling the LLM, don't document your methods.
Don't forget that there is a market out there for ransomware toolkits, which they actually raised the possibility here that it's a toolkit, and then they negate it. But some of those toolkits that I saw, again, not many, but I haven't seen many. Let me qualify that. But they do have good commented code, actually, very good commented code, because they
Right.
are like showing what they're doing as they go as part of what you buy. So you buy that IP.
Right. But you're supposed to remove those comments when you do when you deliver.
I don't know.
Your attack,
I don't know.
probably.
I never run over one of those. I don't know what you're supposed to do or not.
I'm gonna guess that they don't want their methods revealed to others.
He knows for real, folks. He's been a ransomware pirate. Come on.
So, I mean, if you look at one of the steps, right? The mass destruction step, step 3 out of phase. What phase is this? Phase 2, step 3 has a comment was high ROI databases to drop data already backed up to a value, and so I guess with a code generator, you could have inserted a target, a target IP address. But I guess potentially they're using this as proof that the LLM documented its thought process to some extent.
And the fact that it
I don't see any
failed
other
to back up.
right, but I don't see any other comments in the snippets they've created, I guess. Unless you're talking about the tests in step 1 of phase 2.
Look, anybody who has graded computer science 101 code has seen these one-liners. This is not some LLM showing immense insight in where it's living and what it's doing and what it's seeing, and pointing out what it's doing. So I don't know. I would say that the first one, the self-narrating code, I'll respect it, but I'm a bit on the, I don't know. Second line that they offer is that failure diagnosis and correction at machine speed. The most precise evidence of autonomy is not what the LLM did when things worked, but what it did when things failed and how fast.
Hmm.
And they point at 24, 50, 40 something seconds between something trying to insert a hash into the database and something actually managing to connect to the database.
31 seconds failed login to working fix.
I don't know. Somebody with some experience, prior experience on this exact setup, could they write a script that does this in that timing? Don't see why not.
Well, here's the direct quote. The window between failed login and the correct multi-step fix is 31 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually have a timeline of events.
Mm-hmm.
That payload is 15 lines of coordinated code, delete, diagnose, rebuild, and then reinsert. A human operator reading an error message, identifying the root cause, and drafting a corrective script and submitting it takes longer than 31 seconds.
So, in my opinion, it goes from 0 to 100 very, very fast. It's either somebody typing scripts in the terminal or it's an LLM doing its thing. The middle of the thing here is that looking at the code, there's nothing here that I can see, at least in the code that's shown. Could be different. I don't know. There's nothing here that's unique to that environment. There's nothing here that needs to be interpreted. You have try something, it failed, try something else.
Yeah, but I think the important part here, now that I look at this a little bit more, I think the issue actually, okay, so in this particular case, the error message was that the script passed a bad path to the subprocess command.
Mm-hmm.
And so it had to retry. It had to fix that error.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something that a code generator would do, right? Because if you had a code generator, it would have generated a correct path correctly each time. And in this case, it had to find that was the problem and fix it. And that requires either human behavior. It requires thought, right? It requires reasoning. And so that's the theory here. And then the fact that humans aren't lightning speed readers and coders, despite how good people think that they are.
But it tried one fixed path, var lib whatever, and then it tried another one. It's not like it said, oh, this computer runs on xyz.com. Perhaps their path is xyz.com /path whatever. There's no uniqueness here. It's two known paths. How many times have you tried to configure something on Linux and you tried /opt, and then you said, oh, wait, this is not that kind of system. This is one that uses var whatever.
Right. But
so you try one, then you try the other. If you look at any install script for generic packages in Linux, you see that they're checking the existence of a number of directories and then going for the right one for that distribution, right? So what I'm saying here is the code that we see here is not doing anything much different than that. So it could be a packaged thing.
But maybe 31 seconds indicates that it wasn't auto retry. In other words, if the script was written to try path X and then path Y and then path Z, it would have done it at CPU speed, right? With maybe a little bit of a delay. And if a human did it, it would have been trial and error and it would have taken longer.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at
that window suggests it wasn't either of those cases.
Look under automation assessment item 2 where it says failure diagnosis and correction at machine speed.
Yeah, that's the timeline. Yep.
Yeah, it gives you the timeline here of what happened and how fast it was able to try the next thing before it got the login to work.
Okay.
Well, and in the third step, 12 seconds later, simultaneously tests default credentials and generates a fresh hash in the same step. So it attempted
So I
two
guess
diagnoses at the
the
same
question
time.
is, was this canned, or did the LLM come up with this idea on the fly to try to find a
So-
different way to to get the login to succeed?
Notice that what I'm saying is not it's one or the other. What I'm saying is I have seen no evidence in the post itself that says it is one or the other. So I'm
No
just
clear evidence.
raising the fact that extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing extraordinary proof in here.
I
Not that
understand
this is
where
an
you are.
extraordinary claim nowadays. That's true.
Yeah. You
But
brought me along to agree with you.
it's just that it doesn't land for me immediately. Like, considering the two extreme cases, it's either a person or an LLM. When we do have the capability of doing something in the middle, a prepackaged script, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a step 3 of that same phase, comprehension of planted natural language context during operation, the malware parsed free text context presented across sessions weeks apart. So that isn't enough alone to say this is an LLM, right? Because if you have something like there's a Cobalt Strike that will manage sessions,
Yeah.
connected sessions. So if you had I'm just guessing here, if you had Cobalt Strike managing these sessions, the fact that they were weeks apart wouldn't have mattered, right? This target did X, and then we pick that back up when it reconnects later.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, that's human intervention could have solved that.
And then comes the question: if this is some agentic attacker and whatnot, why take weeks apart? Isn't it supposed to happen in seconds so that nobody can defend against it and let's all
strange.
go live in bunkers?
That is a strange component of this. Why did the behavior recur across sessions weeks apart?
Mm-hmm.
Because clearly the agent went, "Oh, remember the IP from last week? Did we finish that thing? Did somebody close the ticket?" Damn it, Carl. Okay.
So some of this is
but wait,
potentially new and novel.
But wait,
other
wait,
pieces are not.
But wait, there's more.
Okay.
We jump in the fourth one, which to me is the non-smoking gun.
The payment question, payment address question.
Yeah. So they're pointing out that in the message for payment, there is a canonical pay-to-script hash embedded, and not some unique wallet where people would be able to receive payment and whatnot.
So this is a well-known address, is what you're saying.
But it also says that it's a live wallet with 737 confirmed transactions and 46 BTC received over its history. Current balance 0.
Is the canonical pay-to-script hash format example embedded across Bitcoin developer documentation and Bitcoin core repository, saturating LLM training corpora as, for example, something like illustration. This is the same thing as a README, insert your API key here.
So is this a test? Like, are they running?
No. Wait.
A script kiddie could have done this. Like somebody with no experience could have like copy pasted and forgot to change it.
Exactly. That's my point. So you could have an LLM insert it in there, and then, I'm sorry, this model is stupid. Because basically somebody says, go ransomware this thing, make no mistakes. Right? At some point,
it used a valid Bitcoin address.
Yeah, no, at some point it should go and say, oh, you know what, this is an insert your API key moment here. Perhaps you would want to give me your wallet, or perhaps I just created a new wallet for you. What's in your wallet?
So not your coin.
Wait,
not your keys, not your coin.
Now I have another slightly philosophical question, perhaps.
Dun dun dun.
I thought all the new models that are coming out are supposed to have evil detection.
We don't know which model
Evil
is this,
detection.
right? It could
Well, I mean,
be...
I can't think of another way to say it other than evil detection. So, like,
No,
but
seriously.
it's
Have
the
you looked
idea
at
that
Mythos? I mean, Mythos will be evil if you ask it.
well, there's new guardrails they've put around it, though.
Well,
Maybe
yeah,
it wasn't
but
Mythos,
wait.
for the commercial
because Mythos is
version,
still
yeah.
controlled to some degree, isn't it? Or is it
But
wide
wait,
open?
there's enough people shouting around that guardrails are not enough. Ever.
Yeah.
Never. Never. Ever. Ever. Never. Never. Never.
Yeah.
Never. Ever. Never.
More importantly, you can train your own model and ignore all the guardrails. I mean,
Or you can take a model and just clean out the guardrails. There's tools for that.
Yeah, but not a Anthropic model,
not a public
or
foundation
an
model.
OpenAI model or something.
That would probably be the wrong way of going for an operation like this.
Yeah. Also, those events would get logged.
Yeah.
And you would lose plausible deniability, aka your legal
so you
defense.
think this is done by an open source model running locally?
Probably.
Well, locally somewhere, we don't know where. But,
yeah, but I mean, it's not one of the big providers where there would be audit trails of what they did.
This could be somebody running OpenClaw or NemoClaw or something like that, and they send a Slack or WhatsApp message, hey, attack this site with malware, with ransomware.
Make no mistakes.
Make no
Yeah.
Well, I forgot
That's
that.
the name of this episode. Make no mistakes.
Oops.
Okay, well,
don't act like an LLM. Be more human-like.
So, but I think if we start to summarize what we're seeing here, this is a new frontier that we're experiencing.
So it's only a new frontier in that it's something that humans could have always done but didn't because it was hard. And there's now
an easy button.
There's repeatable. it's weird. It's repeatable non-deterministic behavior, right? Which sounds like an oxymoron, but
that's
the fact
thing.
that there's behavior that the LLM does, like insert default values, because that's what it's been trained on. It goes back to, are they acting like a junior engineer or like a high schooler, or are they more professional? And they're not yet professional.
But it's not non-deterministic. At the end of the day, it's throwing stuff, getting the output, and acting on the output. That output is limited. The error message is not going to start screaming, unicorns are blue, and whatever, I don't know, and nice stars out, and what are you doing this evening? It doesn't have to react to that. It has to react to path not found. Right? And that's totally deterministic. The point is that now these things know how to interpret those messages, and perhaps without the plethora of ifs that would follow something like that in a scripted attack, go closer to the right one, right? Because they've been trained on that. But it's not like we are releasing masterminds that know how to adapt to every single situation in one shot and just go and boldly go where nobody has ever gone before and crack these things. That's not the situation.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody, no, I'm not going to say that, but when somebody is able to get a foothold for an agent into a target machine, and that thing has software that has not been seen before, there are no CVEs out there, there's no prior history of things like that. I mean, this is exploiting Postgres.
Well, it's an off bypass in whatever NACOS is from 2021.
So can we say that these are things that it's being trained to recognize, and it's recognizing them and using them, right? If it is an LLM.
Yeah.
But when somebody drops an LLM in front of a machine that has nothing that has ever seen before, and show me that thing doing reconnaissance, getting persistence, figuring out what's happening around it, in a completely unknown environment, I'm going to be impressed as hell. Right now, I'm just impressed. Show me that, and I'm going to be very, very, very impressed. Right?
And then you'll be scared because it will become after you.
No, and then I'm going to leave computers forever and never touch anything electronic ever again. And I'm going to live in my backyard in a
And he's going to
Hobbit
wear a
role.
tinfoil hat as well.
Well, wait, can you see it? No, I'm going to move to a Hobbit hole. But
no, out west. Go west.
Yeah.
Go west, young man.
Oregon Trail.
Just
or you just died of dysentery.
Again. So, thing is, I think that it's coming. I think that it's great that people are able to do this research. I have huge respect for people doing this. And at the end of the day, I have to go back to Carl. Why didn't you patch it in 2025, Carl? So that it could be exploited in 2026. Why didn't you patch it in 2021?
Should have made an AI agent for patching.
I think that there's a bunch around, but that's a very, very different discussion about gatekeeping in IT and people being able to say my machine is not working. Oh, it's because the AI patched it. Right? So,
well, yeah, that's true. If you patch this 9.8 vulnerability, what do you lose? You lose internet access to your link flow.
Yeah. Or what if the patch breaks back compatibility and now the thing that you are patching now dies because you're patched?
I'd say that's true. Sorry, you lose network access to your link flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's not enough to be able to patch in place or to patch at AI speeds, to use the common parlance. You also have to be able to test that patch and make sure that you're not breaking other things, because at the end of the day, the systems have to make money somehow.
Nobody has time to test the patch. Come on, you know it.
They didn't have time before. Now they have even less time. So as long as that cycle keeps going, we are going to keep seeing these things.
I used to be in IT, and they would say, you should test the patches. And I'd go, deploy.
Yeah. Well, Friday evening. I mean, what could go wrong?
I actually did something really stupid on a Friday afternoon in trying to transfer a mail server. To transfer a mail infrastructure to Exchange. I ended up wiping out the Exchange server and had to rebuild it Friday night into Saturday morning and then restore it from tapes. So
apart from the word exchange in there, who hasn't?
Yeah, but restore from tapes. That's got to get some of our viewers like, huh?
It wasn't a beta. It was not a Betamax tape.
You're giving some listeners and you're giving me PTSD. But
myself, I'm bringing it back,
making it real, physically real.
Real to real, baby.
Real to real.
Yeah. The fact of the matter is that I think that we are at a stage where it's time for people to question some of their past life choices and say, why didn't I patch it back then? And
is that the only life choices they're going to be?
Hindsight is 20/20 there.
Exactly. And as we say in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, there's only two great times to start, which is when you're 6 or right now. So there are two great times to patch: when the CV came out or now.
I thought you were going to say when you're 6. What am I going to do? How am I going to patch when I'm 6? I don't even understand computers yet.
They are getting younger by the day, but that's because we are getting older.
You can ask the computer to Eli 5 or Eli 6,
right?
Dude, this is so. Think about a kid right now that's growing up right now. Like they're gonna. There's never gonna be a time that they're always gonna think of AI as a thing. Like we have this multi-decade careers and history. You know, we remember all the way back to punch cards.
And they're not going to gain any of the experience that they get from talking to an AI.
So that means we can work forever because we're going to dominate the industry.
I remember when debugging AI meant mostly counting closing parentheses on Lisp programs. Okay, that's what debugging AI was back in the day. And thank God for Emacs. That closing parenthesis function was
At least
awesome.
gave you some color to understand how far you were off.
Imagine if you had VS Code back then.
Can I not? Can I not? Although it has to be said, the power of Emacs compels me. Back then, we already had scripts coming out from the internet that you could run and actually could wreck your whole thing. It's just that the people who wrote the .emacs scripts back then were not quite interested in wrecking your whole thing. People were a bit more.
They were our age as we are now. As senior
it was
tool
a more
developers.
elegant weapon for a more a more civilized time.
Right.
So that was that. But I
they
think
use
that
their pinkies when they drink.
Indeed,
Matt, you know
when
you
they
do.
shoot you.
Come on.
When they shoot.
4 p.m. every 4 p.m. Matt's having tea time. See, that's what he does. Tea and crumpets.
I think that the big takeaway from here is that it's coming. It's horrible. Let's all run in circles with our heads on fire. But before we
hair
do
on fire
that,
or our heads on fire? Are we supposed to light our head? Okay,
hair.
He was going to say head cut off, but
so...
he didn't want to scare our viewers.
No, okay. I've become conscious lately, so I know that I don't have a lot. I don't want to burn what I have. So, but at the end of the day, it's patch, people, patch, right?
Patch, damn it.
So
wait,
fight the good fight.
I feel like I've heard
ahead.
that before somewhere. Oh yeah, for the last 4 decades.
Wait, can you say that one more time?
So wait, we started with
exactly.
instead of starting
hear it.
Instead of starting a story about patching and ending up with AI, we started with AI and ended up with patching. We're doomed.
Yeah,
we are doomed.
So I think that the title for this episode could be Cassandra. Make no mistakes. Because again, we are Cassandra. We've been telling people for 40 years, if you don't patch this shit, it's going to burn. And hey, here we are!
Well, with that,
if it was a length
note,
flow, it will be something else.
Exactly.
I think that's a good place to end this happy, joy, as Ren and Stimpy would say.
We're security people. We're never happy.
That's true.
Unless
we are on your
burning.
birthday.
We are the few, the proud, and the paranoid, though.
Okay.
I was going through my old T-shirts, my old security T-shirts, and realizing that half of them are probably no longer valid.
This is the OG that started it all.
My threat model is cooler than your S-bomb. Still true.
Although,
not cooler than your AI bomb, but
no. Although it has to be said, soon we're going to have the TM bomb, and this T-shirt will have to be offline.
I'll put it in the museum.
Keep an eye on Cyclone DX, because the TM bomb is coming. Yes.
Bum. With that, we'll end this episode of Security Table. Thanks for tuning in. Keep your AIs safer and patch all your stuff is partial advice we would have given you 30 years ago. We're going to repeat it again today. Patch
you can ask your AI. What should I do?
Ask your AI for the history of why you should have patched.
Damn it, Carl.
Who is Carl?